Since childhood, she struggled with a painful skin disease. After years of failed treatments, she finally met Anjali at Ananta Ayurveda, and her healing journey truly began.
So I'm Kieran. I came to Anjali. I found a team on Instagram. For many years now, I've been having various issues with my skin, sort of commonly referred to as eczema. I've done different steroid creams and Western approaches probably since I was 16 years old, and sort of they've always been very surface level at best. It's never really gone away, and this sort of last year, it's sort of gone to kind of a whole new level. It was a lot of flare-ups kind of continuously, and all the sort of steroid creams, all these different bits, they just weren't working. And it just got to a point where I was looking for something that was actually more healing. I was told by doctors, I remember when I was 16, they said, you're going to have this for the rest of your life. Like, you just get used to it kind of thing.
What symptoms you had, Kieran?
So when I was sort of 16, out of nowhere, I never had skin issues prior to that point. And then it was almost overnight, I developed these horrific rashes kind of all over the body, to the point where I was put in hospital. They hospitalized me because they didn't know. It didn't just look like eczema or something. They were kind of really concerned about what it might be. So I spent months going in and out of hospital, speaking to consultants, high, very, very good kind of consultants in West London, and a lot of them just didn't really know. They were just passing me on to the next person, They basically had no clue. And then they say it's one thing, then the next year they said it's this, and then this, and then this, and they're just giving you all these creams, like steroid creams, that obviously just thin the skin. They kind of help suppress, I think is the best word, they help suppress like a flare-up, but it's always there. And
so when did you find me? Why did you think that you should go to natural way?
I think I've always been quite drawn to like the sort of natural healthcare, and I've definitely had Ayurveda in mind for at least a good year, and it's always something that I thought I'd love to look like learn more, but I truthfully didn't think I could find it in this country. I honestly thought I'd have to go maybe somewhere like India to be able to find all like authentic practitioners and treatment, and it's just by chance that I happened to come across your Instagram page, and just from there I started seeing the different videos and like all these different treatments available, and something in me just told me to just book that consultation. So I think I always had that pull towards it. I just didn't know where I could find it until I found you guys.
Okay. So since how long you are with me?
It's only been, I think, 2 months. I think since I first came in for our first consultation, and we obviously got started straight away with a bunch of medications and treatments which I've been taking. I think, what's it now, been 6 weeks?
6 weeks.
6 weeks or so. And it's not a long time, but even in this time, it's done more for my skin than the last 10 years has done. So I think that says everything.
Not only herbs, you have changed the diet, you have worked on your lifestyle, and we have done some couple of therapies as well.
Yeah, it's been because I like that in your approach. It's very like that holistic kind of side of things, and I think learning about my constitution, that's something I knew I probably should find out, because you've got to understand your body, and I think my body's been trying to tell me so much, but I've not had the understanding or the language to be able to interpret it, and so I've not been able to really give my body what it needs. But then after our first consultation, you sort of explained, your Vata Pitta, and when you're having these flare-ups, it's kind of the sort of fire elements kind of in overdrive, and I think it's helped bring me back in connection with my body, to be truthful, and it's helped me understand its signals and its rhythm. So that's why things like diet, my sort of lifestyle, and all these sort of things that you were recommending, do this, don't do it, especially in this initial stage of treatment. It's definitely, I've always been quite in tune with my body, doing all this stuff and working with meditation and everything, but this I think has brought it to a really deeper level. And what I like with you, it's not just conceptual, like it's not just theory, like it's very to the point, it's practical, and it's real, and it's so like easy to understand and follow once you're kind of committed and open to really understanding, and also being sort of open to actually making those changes. Because obviously there's definitely a bit of a learning jump, because you've got the modern world, and we live in a certain way, we work in a certain way, and we have access to certain foods, and you know, if you've got the commitment there though to want to change, which I think I had got to a point where I finally was ready to kind of be like, right, I would change what I'm going to change and embrace all these things, but it's actually come about very naturally, as I felt my body respond, like when you say, like with the ghee or with follow these hours for digestion and to make sure, you know, you're clearing out the body and doing all this sort of stuff. It actually wasn't as hard as I realized, because it's actually very in tune with what the body naturally
It was within you.
needs. And it was just you kind of shining a light on that and being like, right, that's just kind of follow that path of what the body needs. And the results already have been really just, it's hard to put into words. Like I've definitely seen more, like I said, in the last 6 weeks than I have in the last decade.
What you would like to say to our clients regarding, obviously you have explained your experience with me. How would you encourage others that Ayurveda has a solution for skin problems instead of taking the other side?
Definitely. I think especially something like skincare, I think compared to maybe other areas potentially of health, I think it's one of those that's very misunderstood and not dealt very well with, especially in Western sort of healthcare. It's very like band-aid, like I was saying, steroid creams, this or that. And I speak to other people who've had similar kind of problems, and I think a lot of them, they just lose hope. It's not like, oh, you can go do a surgery or you take this particular kind of like tablet and it will kind of fix it up right away. Like I said, doctors just say, you're going to live with this for the rest of your life, just get used to it and just manage it, basically. So I think that's the main thing I want to go across, especially for something like skin conditions, is it's still your mind, body and soul. Like there is always going to be treatment and avenues to cure from the inside out. And something like Ayurveda, it's got all the answers there. Like it's an ancient science. Everything kind of has, every ailment, everything that comes up in the body, there is things corresponding in nature that are designed, intelligently designed to sort of treat that and treat the body's constitution. And so for that reason, definitely like don't lose hope and like embrace this. I don't want to call it alternative medicine. I'll say that to you last time. This is the original medicine. This is kind of like it's all like human intelligence. It's centuries and thousands of years of all this sort of understanding passed down, and it's so scientific as well. I think people might think at first, if they've just heard about it, and especially the way it might be portrayed, I think in the Western world, as a bit woo or as a bit this and that. People think, oh no, like it's a bit hippy dippy or whatever, but it's like no, it is as kind of accurate as you can be, because it has that incredible multidimensional and holistic approach. And I think generally that's what I definitely want to kind of emphasize. We were speaking about it before, how I think now more than ever people are looking for cures. You know, there's a limit to Western medicine. There's a place for it, but there's definitely a limit. And I think people, especially women, there is a need to reconnect with our bodies, to understand our bodies and to actually kind of give it what it needs. And I think Ayurveda is there, and it has been there, but it's just about, you know, being able to find incredible practitioners and teams like you have here. And I think so if you're looking for it in the UK, I think that's definitely one thing I want to emphasize. You don't necessarily need to go traveling across the world. It's a blessing that, you know, I and many other people have been able to find kind of yourself and your team who are kind of bringing this very authentic but still accessible approach to healing and treatment. And I think that should be really embraced. I think for everyone, whether you've got a specific thing in mind or just general well-being, there is a place for curing but also prevention, and I think it's needed more now more than ever.
Thank you so much, Kiran. Thank you.